Welcome, everybody. Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, right here on the YouTube, the Twitch, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and any other means of doing it. But obviously, just myself tonight. Had a little, obviously, we're near the holidays, so not a lot of people were able to make it. Was planning to do it, was not planning to be the only one on tonight, but checked with the scumbag himself, and I said, do you think we should still put on something tonight? He said, if you want to do it, do it. So I listened to the scumbag. And I checked with the Discord. Seems like everybody wanted to have a show tonight. So here we are for the December 22nd edition of Impact on Access TV as we really head into the home stretch for Hard to Kill. So thanks for joining us tonight. Feel free. This is, since it's just me, it definitely can be a more interactive review. So I see Courtney in the chat. Good to see you, Courtney. I see Dr. Gerbs. Good to see you in the chat. Definitely let us know what you're thinking. Where is the scumbag? That's a question for another day, Courtney. We never know where we're going to see the scumbag, but hopefully soon. We'll see him back on the show. We did see him on the show for Joe. Hopefully anyone that wasn't able to make it was able. I know we're still keeping the show for Joe donations alive. So definitely, if you haven't seen that, we did a 7.5 hour marathon a week ago, last Friday. Obviously, all proceeds go into Joe Doring's GoFundMe as he battles cancer for the second time. So definitely check that out if you haven't. If you can donate, it's appreciated. And as soon as we get all the totals, I know we were over $100. But hopefully we can get a little more in there and get that donated before the year's out. So much appreciated, everyone that supported us there. And thanks, Justin. Dr. Gerbs, Taylor Wilde pinching your chin and the little kid kissing her hand was adorable. Not wrong. And let us know what you think about it. We'll talk about it. But the Taylor Wilde, the new witchy gimmick that's now on TV, what do you think about that? Critical sting, buffering. So watching the show? Okay. All right. Hopefully we're not spoiling as we go along here. We don't have J-Bone, but I know there's at least a piece of news I do want to discuss. So let's start out with a little, not J-Bone's news, but a little, well, we'll call it a little fake wrestling news.
Longing for that fake wrestling news.
Don't believe anything that you read on the internet.
Well, obviously the big news that we want to talk about is on Chris Van Vliet's on his interview podcast, he had Rich Swann on, and it was announced that Rich Swann has agreed to a 2-year extension with Impact Wrestling. So Rich Swann, he's back. He didn't go anywhere, but obviously I think that's now a guy that's been around for a while. So great to see Rich Swann staying with the company. I just saw Rich Swann in Philly at a 2300 Arena show last weekend. But great to see him stay with the company long term. Rich Swann, one of those foundational pieces of the company, can work with anybody, can kind of do anything, especially after losing Eric Young. Somebody else that can kind of take on a lot of those roles. Like it'll be interesting to see what direction he goes in the near future. And let us know, what would you like to see Rich Swann do? Do you want to see him in that main event scene, go after the world title, do some stuff in the X division? We know he at times went for tag team stuff, like tag team titles, maybe with Willie Mack in the past, but obviously it would have to be somebody else now. Or what do you see going on there? So definitely shout it out in the chat. Let us know. But definitely great to see Rich Swann sticking around. Yeah, it's always great to see. Always great to see. And as we are heading into the new year, Michael asked, was your prediction for Impact in 2023? Definitely see it growing. as they have. I know if you're a longtime TNI watcher or listener, then you may have heard when like Johnny Bravo came on and talked about Impact had a 5-year plan. And right now we're kind of a little more than halfway through that, but that's even including the pandemic. And they seem to kind of be growing. It's that gradual increase. And I see that continuing in 2023. I just see like more strides. You keep seeing little things here and there, but sometimes some bigger things. And I could see more international. Obviously, we know there's the return to Canada with Windsor starting, but who knows? Maybe the UK. Obviously, still got to do something with TV out there. But I see some continued growth, no doubt. Oh, critical sting. Settle down. Yeah, so definitely if you, after this, feel free, check out that interview with Chris Van Fleet. No, he always does a good job with the Impact talent. So definitely check out what he had to talk about with Rich. I won't get bogged down in the news. If anybody wants to talk about anything particular, I'll get more into the review. We'll kind of go over some things that happened. Feel free. I'll be looking at comments, and if you have any comments or questions we go over it, feel free to throw them in there, and we'll do that. But we'll get right into the review and go from there on this. Once again, this almost holiday edition. Although, you know what? I know somebody kind of said something, because we did get confirmation it's a best of. We'll get the year-end awards next Thursday. And there may have been a question, well, is Impact, is TNI going to follow Impact's lead? Are they going to do a full show next week? Answer is yes. There will be a TNI review next Thursday as well. So we will go over, obviously, award winners, maybe some year-end thoughts and all that. So look forward to a TNI review next week as well. And I do see Terrence Sullivan in the chat here. And I know he had asked a question previously of me, and I was not sure of the answer. Terrence, I can now confirm. Just in the last couple hours, I have confirmed. Not officially in my hand yet, but I will be attending Hard to Kill. I know that was something I was not 100% sure yet. Some things had to fall right for it to happen, and it is confirmed. Well, almost confirmed, but it's falling in that direction where I will be at Hard to Kill. So I believe you will be attending as well. So hopefully I will see you there. So anybody else, let us know if you're going to Hard to Kill, which is now only about 3 weeks away, Friday the 13th. And what a main event stipulation we got added tonight, but we will talk about that. David, do you know who Freddie Prinze Jr. is? I do. The actor? Yes. And I know he's obviously, he did write for WWE for a while, and I know he's looking to possibly start his own promotion at some point. I don't know if there was any new news on that, but that is something to obviously keep in mind going forward, see what he's doing. All right, so let me get back here to my notes for the review, and we will go over this December 22nd edition of Impact Wrestling on Access TV and YouTube for the Ultimate Insiders. And I do see some people saying where they want to Impact Wrestling to go. Dr. Gerber's in New Jersey next year. Coordinate with Boston. Definitely some areas. They were in Rawway for United We Stand a couple years ago toward Mania Week. But that it would be good. Obviously, they haven't been in Philly in a while. And then also Boston, obviously that's a while since they've been up there. So that would be another area to possibly hit in the future. But let us know where you think, or maybe sites they should hit again, ones they haven't been to. So starting out, this was a good bookend show. If you look at how it was from the beginning and the end, you had knockouts tags to start and end the show. like that. It's a good way of storytelling, have the knockouts division throughout the episode here. But starting with the knockouts tag team championship on the line with the Death Dolls. This is the grouping tonight of Jessica and Rosemary, not Taya, against Deanna and Giselle Shaw, who still blew my mind in person when I saw this, that they were a tag team again after how they kind of fell through. But then we saw how it kind of came together last week. But then with Jay, now no longer Jay with an I, or Jai Vidal, in their corner. Good opener. Back and forth action. Obviously, seeing if there was some shenanigans going on, but yet they kind of no direct interference other than normal tag team wrestling. But Jessica here did a good setup on Giselle, and then Rosemary hits that spear. Still hits the spear. Excellent, Rosemary, and was able to retain there. So Giselle took the loss in this one, not Deanna. So interesting to see what the fallout is here. But the Death Dolls, they needed this. They needed a win here, look a little stronger as we're heading in to these next couple weeks. So that was definitely something tonight. And yeah, noticing that Rosemary was wearing the belt tonight, it was a little different because it's kind of been more of the Taya and Jessica for the most part. But it was good to see Rosemary back in the mix, that Freebird style of tag team again. Oh, we don't see him as much in the live chat anymore, but since I guess it's went a little later to start, Lakers in the chat. Always good to see Lakers. So good to see you, Lakers. Hope you're doing well this holiday season, and happy holidays to everybody, because obviously this is probably going to be the last broadcast before Christmas. So hopefully everyone's enjoying their holidays. Be safe, be merry, watch more Impact Wrestling, the usual. And then this does remind me, we'll talk about it more next week, but all the TNA fans in the house, still one of my favorite things that TNA/Impact ever did was New Year's Knockout Eve. Anybody that remembers that, that's still one of my favorite shows. You got New Year's Eve, you got Impact Wrestling. Fantastic. I would like to see that again someday, honestly. It would be a cool little throwback. Or maybe, I got to double check. It's probably on Impact Plus by now. Might have to watch that again. I know we, at one point, I think for Patreon, we talked about doing that as a watch along. So we go from that opening contest, and then we're backstage, continuing with the knockouts that are going to be in the main event tonight. We got Jordan and Mickie James. They're talking about how they're going to be going after Tasha and Savannah. And then Jordan's telling Mickie that she's only to make that really it's only there to make sure Mickie gets the hard to kill. So you can definitely tell the dynamic is, will they be able to work tonight? That's always what you want to see. Like when you get these main events where they're putting opponents with each other, is can they coexist or not? And that's where we're kind of getting a feeling on, is it going to be, are they just going to have the aptitude to work together or not? It's, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Then we go back once again, all knockouts. Deanna and Giselle backstage, and then you just hear them say never, that they'll never tag again after this loss. So it kind of goes back full circle to where they were together, they fell apart, they got back together, fell apart again. So, will that really be the end of them together? Who's to tell? Now there are some comments here. I see Bell's Boy. I because you're saying it, I know what your opinion on Scott and Giselle's apparent relationship. Suckers want to know. I'm not going to really comment on that because, once again, with these social media posts, you can get interpretations of things. I don't know if there's really anything to it or not. I think people said the same thing about Giselle and Trey when they were doing some stuff together. So I think it could be a little misleading. So I wouldn't get to go down that rabbit hole too much. If there's something more official or public, then, but if not, obviously let people do what they want to do. But I don't have much of an opinion on it. Just seeing here. Dave wants to know why by myself. Just near the holidays, Dave. So decided like I was ready to do it because I was off my phone for a couple hours, and then I was kind of starting to prepare for the show and found out that, you know what, pretty much everyone it just wasn't working, so the show probably wasn't going to happen. But then I was checking with Kyle, and he's like, do it if you want to. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So here for you, I'm relying on the TNI fam tonight. We'll go through this because if not, it could be a very quick review, but definitely take comments, questions about tonight's show as we head into Hard to Kill. So feel free to drop a line, because now we get into something pretty interesting tonight. And this is an interesting one. We get Sami Callihan coming out to the ring, and he comes out and he calls out the design, which is obviously Diener, Angels, Big Con. They're coming out and they're calling Sami. He's a sickness. He's a sickness here, which obviously we heard that in BBD back in the day. But then that's the surprising thing that comes out of Sami's mouth is he's interested in joining the design. But then he's asking, well, I'd like to join the design. Do you want me in the design? And Diener, well, he kind of doesn't give some, but then they go after him. They attack him. It ends in a DDT on Sami. So interesting angle here. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think about this Sami approaching the design about joining? Is this some type of mind games, a revenge angle, or is he actually wanting to join the design? Is that something that we want to see? Does it make sense for him to join it? Like, obviously, we know he was involved in that Violent by Design angle to get to this, but is this something that actually makes sense, or is this more a big charade? So we'll see. So Bell's boy's not buying it. He thinks he's playing a game here. Samuel, yes, Samuel. That was good. That was good, Bones Baby. Well, he would be an addition. There's no doubt. After losing EY, that would help. Oh, Michael, I appreciate it. Critical Sting, fitting. They say he's sick and he's trying to be a parasite in the group. All right, okay, I could see that too. Interesting.
Look at this dumbass.
Hey, Sami. It's opinions, Sami. Come on, settle down. So after the beat down there, we go backstage with the one and only Thomas Dreamer, with Josh Alexander, the world champ. And Tommy apologizes to him about the whole bully situation, but that he wants to. But Josh makes sure, like, I want to handle bully on my own here. So we'll see. Wasn't sure. Oh, hold on. Bell's boy, maybe try dancing to attract more viewers. What kind of dancing? Well, maybe. What kind of dance? Because maybe we could do a little. There's this.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
And that. Well, that's all you get, though. No. Next, you'll be wanting me to get a hot tub or something. You think for those Twitch views. All right, I see Terrence. I see your comment there. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we will get into that in a little bit. Oh, we'll talk about this one. Terrence, Titanium Bill, do you see Deanna's interview where she says she would like Mandy Rose to join Impact Wrestling? I expect they can make a great tag team. It's an easy question to ask because obviously after being released, it makes sense to ask a female wrestler, what do you think? Should she come on board? I know Tommy said it last week on Busted Open. I think Impact would be happy to, like, once again, it all depends on price and stuff like that. But I think she could be a benefit. I wouldn't be against it. I think Deanna, I'm sure she'd be on it as well. So, and as a tag team, that could be interesting. But we'll see what happens for Deanna in 2023. If it's going to be singles, if it looks for another tag run. But depending on, once again, the price, because you can't go crazy. But that's definitely somebody that has a lot of momentum right now. But what was there a story that she made like an obscene amount of money and like since she's been released on her other business endeavors. So I don't know if that's going to be something that is really needed. So she probably does not need wrestling right now. That's probably someone that really doesn't need it unless she wants to do it. Bells boy, what tag team name would you give Jason Hodge and the legend himself, John Skyler? Let's see. We'll call Jason Hodge, who if anyone doesn't know, I'm a big fan of Jason Hodge from, obviously, Gut Check. But I've been impressed with him so far. But then he's tagging with the Sky Man. I don't know about that. Like I said last week, I told him to ditch that guy. So maybe the talent and the non-talent. Nah, we'll see. We'll see. Although the good hands, and I know people have kind of been using that because they're referred to as good hands. That's not a bad name. Like that's a pretty good name. Let's see here. James Brown in hot tub. But all right, let's move on to the review. I'm staying on a course tonight, on a track with the review. We did get, and this I like. This I like. We got a video package of Ace and Chris Bay in New Japan with the Super Juniors tags, where they got to the finals, and about them coming back to Impact Wrestling. So I always enjoy when they use this, the affiliation with these other companies, and especially because Ace and Bay had a great run, and we'll see how that's kind of impacting Impact in the near future a little later. But this was great.
It's been a bangorama.
Yes, that tag, good hands. Keep them with Bully Ray. Yeah, I like that. Yes, Cordy, definitely good video package. Good to still see them, even though they were doing something that was obviously good for their careers and good for Impact overall. Still to be featured on Impact Television in some way was something needed. So you don't want them to be too forgotten on the television product for an extended period of time. Now we get a match here. And obviously, this guy's been killing it lately. Mike Bailey, Speedball, has been awesome. So, never a doubt. And for those that weren't paying as much attention with Yuya Uemura, he's had some really good matches lately. But this match here, this was excellent, this match. I dare say match of the night. Mike Bailey, common occurrence, I'm saying that with. But let us know what you thought about this Mike Bailey versus Yuya. I think everyone's thinking Mike Bailey. That's a guy, a featured player of Impact Wrestling going forward. But Yuya, depending on what's going on with New Japan, I think Yuya, like that's a guy that we're going to say years from now when he was doing this in Impact, like we saw him before he became this star. Because he's got all the tools. In ring, just fantastic. So we'd like to see this So hopefully they can run this back at some point. Mike Bailey comes out on top in this one, but what a match! What a match! It actually looked like Yuya could have pulled an upset at times during this one, but just an excellent match. Then we go once again. This is amusing. Kenny King from Arena, Mexico, at CMLL, ripping the Florida crowd and saying, "I'm gonna see you never." So Kenny King getting that good character work in. Great to see with all the Honor No More changes. Kenny King has that history, that TNA Impact history, 2-time X Division champion. I like that was really like when he was going for the X Division title before, he kept talking about 3-time champion. I'm glad he's sticking around. Always been a big Kenny King fan. And it's a good heel persona. It's like an old school heel. Oh, interesting. Critical Sting, that CMLL logo in the beginning had me thinking another luchador was about to challenge Speedball. And I know you're referring to is Vikingo, which I believe there was a recent announcement that they're maybe altering the deal. Like before, it didn't seem like he could show up in an Impact Wrestling. Now it looks like they made a change where he could show up in possibly these other companies. So maybe something to keep an eye on, because there is a history. Vikingo has showed up when they did Mexico tapings. And it seemed like at one point there were rumors that he might do some stuff with Impact, but especially once Bandito is no longer, like some of these recent luchadors that were in Impact are no longer here, that would be something that would be a nice get for sure for Impact Wrestling. Even if it's a brief run, like we saw, we should announce that a guy that had a nice 6-month, maybe a little bit more 6-month run was Jonah, but obviously he just returned to up north to the WWE as Bronson Reed. So I'd be fine. Like, not everybody has to be a long-term member of the roster in Impact Wrestling. They can have a brief a storyline like what Bully's doing now. I don't think that's going to be a real long-term, maybe a little bit into next year, but we'll see. But once we'll get into Bully at some point, but I think he's done a great job so far. And he was in the main event at I was at Battleground Wrestling, which was and they had an ECW kind of tribute show, and it was supposed to be the main event, Bully Ray versus Matt Cardona, but it wound up being the opening match. And so there, Bully Ray is obviously, he's a complete face. So it's interesting seeing him as the total face there, and obviously is this major heel in Impact. So, but he does a good job. I'll give credit where it's due, and honestly, Cardona did a great job of being the heel in that one. So we go to that from Kenny King to the aforementioned Matt Cardona, and he is backstage at Scott D'Amore's office. Wants a rematch for the tag titles against the Guns. But then it's revealed that it's going to be a fatal 4-way, and I just saw that question, so now I'll get to that, between the Guns defending against the major players, Heath and Rhino, and the return of the Bullet Club, Ace and Chris Bay. So you're getting that 4-way match. They say at a future date. I'm thinking that's going to be hard to kill. I got to double check the news to see if they officially put it for hard to kill. But that should be a hell of a match. Yeah, I think they officially did it. But who do I see winning that? It just feels like the Guns haven't had it long. They could keep it longer, but if they're going to make the change, it feels like after what we just saw with the Bullet Club, it would be to the Bullet Club of Ace and Bay. I think they're the only two options. Either the Guns retain or the Bullet Club wins. But we'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, Terrence, it is that hard to kill. That's what I thought. They didn't say it during that segment, but yeah, of course it's hard to kill. Come on. So we go from there. And this is where we've seen some comments already. And this was a great beginning. This was a great beginning. It's Skyler and Hotch against Ziggy Dice and Johnny Swigger. Yeah. But Bully Ray comes and chases off Ziggy and the Swingman, which was, I was just having a riot during this because that was the perfect response to that. So sadly, we did not see that. But we do get Bully Ray, then it appears, against Hotch and Skyler. But then there's like a zip tie use. And then Josh Alexander comes out to make the save. But it's a double cross. And the team Good Hands, that we're calling them now, they turn on Josh Alexander and team with Bully Ray, which I know is alluded to in the chat. Tommy Dreamer tries to make the save, but that doesn't work out too well. Poor Tommy. Oh, come on, Bells boy. You want to bully? You're going team Bully Ray over to Swingman. I know you're not a fan of the Swingman, unlike almost everybody. Poor Swingman. Swingman, come on, he's an institution. First ever exciting division champion, IPWF. Come on. So from there, we did see some weapons starting to be used. We saw a ladder. We saw a chair. So at the time, you're like, okay, is that leading to something? And then we find out backstage, the coach tells Josh Alexander the main event at Hard to Kill will be Full Metal Mayhem. Chat, sound off. What do you think about Full Metal Mayhem returning at Hard to Kill? Oof. Maybe Bully Ray chops the lows. He's not a Home Depot man. Going to Atlanta, you got to be Home Depot man. Yeah, we've been seeing zip ties very common lately. Zip ties. I remember growing up, it was always the handcuffs, but handcuffs are too expensive, I guess. Zip ties are easy. So, another match here. It's the previous news guy, Rich Swann, with the new deal, facing Steve Macklin. So, nice little match here until it goes out of the ring. They're fighting on the outside, and double count out. Double count out. You don't see that often. So pretty much you get a no contest here. So, well, I think we know what's going to happen there. We'll get that rematch. Hopefully in the future. Then we get Eddie Edwards backstage with Lish. Lish telling him that he needs to face his past head on. And she's supportive. Like, he's got to beat Jonathan Gresham, which, once again, congrats to Jonathan Gresham being a signed member of the roster. Good to see. But hard to kill. Gresham versus Eddie. The match we didn't get at Rebellion. It's finally happening. So, looking forward to that one. That should be a good one. But we're already. It's main event time. We're on now with the knockouts again. This time, the two competitors for the Knockouts World title. The last rodeo, Mickie James, she loses at Hard to Kill. She's done. She wins. She's Knockouts World Champion. But they're teaming. But we already know there's a little, are they going to get along in this match against Tasha and Savannah, who for the most part have got along. But sometimes, I don't know, it feels like recently there's been a little friction there too in this main event. But it seems to be working together somewhat. But there is definitely some back and forth. But Mickie looked pretty good at this. Jordan, I think, has been on another level for the last year or so and was great in this match too. The muscle busters are just crazy she does. But good match. Mickie James, Jordan, they get the win together. But then after the match, there's some words there. And Mickie hits the kick, the mid kick on Jordan. But then they're kind of going after it. They're I see you at Hard to Kill. So real interesting to see how this plays out, because it's going to be tough for Mickie in this situation not to come off as a face. But crazier things have happened. And a good point here by Bonus Baby. Interesting that Jordan pinned Tasha, who's Mickie is yet to beat. That is true. Will that play a role at some point? Bells boy, do you see a possible heel turn by either Jordan or Mickie after Hard to Kill? Yeah, Bells, that's what I'm thinking. Based on this, unless she just does something so outrageous, Mickey's going to come off as the face in this match, depending on how it ends. If it feels like, I don't think they would do a dusty end to Jordan beating Mickie. Like, I don't think she would go out dusty. But it would be if the crowd's all Mickie, right? Fan favorite. Jordan turns heel during that match. I'll say, I think Mickey's got to turn. Mickey's got to be the one to turn heel. It feels like Jordan. I'm with you. I can see the heel of Jordan. I can see her being a heel. I can see her being a really good heel. But I don't know. For her to turn heel but still lose, it would be the way to maybe have that come off. Mickie, though, if she sees a total face, is my perception of what will happen. For her to turn heel and screw Jordan and then win the title, I could see that happening. But we'll see. But I know a lot of people are saying Jordan. She does make sense. I just don't know. I don't think she can beat Mickie by turning heel. That would be ultimate heels heat. So we'll see. What up? And then we'll kind of, since that's the show. We went over the show, like I said. Quick time, one-man booth tonight. No need to get too crazy on everything. Obviously, busy time of year. That's why a lot of the other crew's not here. I'm sure we'll recap some of this when they're back next week. But Mick here asking, do you think Bully Ray wins the Impact title? I don't. I do think Josh will retain. But I know there are a growing number, I think, of Impact fans out there to think this could happen. Bully could win the title. And you know what? If I put it at, you never say never in wrestling. So I would never say 0%. But if I had it in the single digits, which I did, I may have moved that up from low single digits, maybe under 5%, to maybe close to 10%. Maybe just eking a little over 10%. So I think there's more of a chance than there was before. I think they've been telling a good story where it could happen. And he would get heat beyond anything if he won that title. But Moose got a ton of heat the way he beat Josh, but Bully, just for how great of a heel he is, it would just be insane heat for him to win the title. So there are reasons to say, well, maybe you give him a short run with the title. It would not shock me. I wouldn't say it would surprise me. It wouldn't shock me. Yeah, bonus B. See, that's where I'm at with this. A turn would have to be Mickey turning heel out of desperation. I could see that. But I do feel like Jordan's character is more feels like she could be a heel. Mickey would be a tough, long-term heel. Although she's been a heel in the past, so it's not beyond it. But she's such a face at this point in her career. It'd be tough to do it. Come on. I'm talking Mickey James here. There's only one.
Hardcore country.
But that's pretty much it. Wait. If any last thoughts on the show, last questions before we end the review for tonight and head into the holidays, but we will have one more TNI review before the end of the year next Thursday. Michael asked if he could bring a group of wrestlers in Impact Wrestling. Who? A group? I don't know if there's a group out there right now that I would have unless you're talking about a group from another promotion, some type of, like if I had to pick a group, just because I think a lot of people know my affinity towards EC3, I would still like to see maybe a control your narrative angle. Like I'll take that as an answer, easy answer. Okay. Heel Jordan, Dr. Gerbs. Heel Jordan wins but continues to go after Mickey. So much decision is reversed to keep Mickey around. Okay, there's a way to kind of get the best of both worlds. So we'll see. Hard to kill, coming at you fast. And you know what? Critical Sting, second gear crew. I like that. Manser and company, that would be pretty cool. I'm down with that. So if you didn't, I know it was a little late tonight. Late, but a nice, tight review tonight. So if you missed us live, feel free, put in comments. If you like that we still had a show tonight, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you don't, ring the bell for notifications for you get all the news every time we go live with every show. And who knows, TNI in 2023, maybe we'll add some more content. Maybe my idea of finally having the Saturday or Sunday morning wrestling show, a little breakfast, a little cereal, little wrestling talk, little TNI. So if that's something you're interested in, you can see that. Maybe, who knows? It would be similar to this, similar format. Talk about a show, talk about maybe some past stuff, and then take questions, comments. Love to have, I know Kyle's always wanted it, a call-in show at some point. So not as easy as it seems to do, but maybe do that at some point where we can hear from you, the TNI fam. So obviously everyone here, definitely, I see the happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Obviously that goes out, the crew, even if I'm not here, be in the Discord, because that's no matter what's going on, that's always going on. 24/7, link in the description. Definitely always check that out. Oh yeah, and don't forget, I see Jameson there because he was on the review for quite some. Well, he was on the show for Joe quite some time, but he's part of the new We Talk Indies syndicated show that we air also on the TNI network. As long as we had a visit from TNI UK's own Lord Bison. Thanks for everyone that obviously joined us during the show. Ash and obviously Alicia, J-Bone, Trent, Scumbag himself, Kyle. So definitely. Oh yeah, you know what? I did say I would talk about this earlier. Sorry guys, because I know that was BTI. Kylan King. who made her debut tonight on BTI. I had seen her when I was out at WrestleCade. She was on the Ladies Night Out show. Impressive. I'd seen her on some stuff before, but I'd not seen her much live. I believe she's out of Ohio. Definitely somebody that I could see a future with, possibly in Impact Wrestling as a knockout, no doubt. Would fit in, good in-ring skills. Definitely got to see some. Well, if Impact does bring someone like her in, I think it's all then like, okay, character. What kind of character are they in Impact Wrestling? Because Impact doesn't bring you in just to sit there. Like they'd have an idea for you, and I think that's definitely something. Just like we saw, like Taylor came back, like she was an OG Taylor, but then she did her more the punk rock thing. But now you can kind of tell on this go round, she like if you see her social media posting, she is more of the witch and spiritual and all that type of stuff, and that's now into her character. Which anytime we talk about wrestling, I think that's the best thing to do is embrace something that's more personal to you, more like you, into your character is going to come off much better. I think that's always been the advice. Like you saw that happen to a lot of guys in original ECW when I was there back in the day. When you took more parts of yourself into your character, it's a lot easier than playing somebody that's nothing like you. So hopefully if Kylie King sticks around, we also see that as well. But I think that covers everything that was on the show tonight. So definitely appreciate everybody coming out at the last minute here. I don't want even Barry here. Maybe a tag team. I agree. Be a good tag team. But everybody, definitely enjoy the holidays. Stay safe. Hopefully you get what you want. Can be with some people you want to be with. And thank you for being here with me tonight on this solo journey. And hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of the crew in. I'm hearing rumors. We might have some special guests. Some maybe members you don't see on the panel all the time next Thursday as we get into the year-end awards and everything. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's going to be something to really check out. So definitely appreciate everyone being here. Let me get this, Zach. I haven't saw this, but Coco Beware, if he's having some medical issues, wish the best to Coco. I was a fan of him growing up, obviously. So hopefully he's well. Can get through whatever issues are there. So once again, everybody, thanks for joining me. That is once again, December 22nd review of Impact on Access TV. And we will see you one more time before the end of 2022. So from myself and the rest of the TNI crew, we bid you a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next Thursday before the new year. Good night, everybody.